listening to a Better Mousetrap podcast, a joint production with Far From TV. Before we dive into today's episode, we are proud and grateful to present this week's sponsor. MotoWord is the world's fastest human translation platform. Their 14,000 professional translators give you translations of any content in any language pairing that are accurate, human-performed, proofread, and client-ready. All this at half the price and 20 times the speed of any other human translation agency you are using today. Go to motoword.com. That's MOTAWORD.com. motoword.com. And for 10% off your first translation job, use a Better Mousetraps code AMB-2018. motoword.com. And this is Marcos Dinnerstein coming to you from Starta Accelerator and Starta Ventures here in New York City. And I have with me Ben Reiter, principal. And so the reason I'm coming here today is to get a preview. Your Batch 6 launch event is coming up on August 23rd. How many companies can we expect to see then?
So thanks for having me on, Marcos. We have 22 companies in our current batch, and we just started the program yesterday.
Terrific. And what industries do they represent?
So we're sector agnostic, so we represent a wide range of industries. Companies in our current batch include cybersecurity, real estate tech, e-commerce, even clean tech and health tech. And one company is even a mobile bank for kids, so technically we have fintech also. It's a really wide range of companies.
Mobile bank for kids, that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that one in particular. And what countries do they come from?
So they come from countries across Europe, primarily Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. We also have Georgia, the country, not the state, and we have Estonia as well.
Is Estonia the children's fintech company?
I'm not sure offhand, but yeah, so we have a good range of companies, and it should be a nice kickoff event. We're going to have a happy hour with networking, and you'll hear pitches from the companies, as well as some guest judges who are experts in VC. Mm-hmm.
And is there any particular industry that you favor that kind of fires your imagination?
Yeah, I'm interested in clean tech actually, and I come from a nutrition background, so I enjoy things which are involve sustainable industries. So whether it's food production or clean tech, use of natural resources in a sustainable way, that's where I'm focused. And we have one company that's a toothbrush made from recycled materials. So that's in that clean tech realm, which I really am interested in.
All sounds very good. And how can our audience, our listeners, find out about this event and sign up for it?
Yeah, please search for Starta Accelerator, STARTA Accelerator on the Eventbrite website. And you'll see our kickoff event listed there for August 23rd, 6 p.m. at our offices on East 23rd Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. And I hope to see you there as well, Marcos.
Indeed you will. I've already signed up. And to those of you who are listening, if you are not already a subscriber to a Better Mousetrap newsletter, do so, because I have a code that will get the first 20 people in for free. So what's not to like about that? Thanks for giving us a little preview, Ben.
Sounds great, Marcos. Thanks for having me on, and we'll see you there.
And now we also have spoken communication coach Lisa Patti, who I know has been working with the various cohorts or batches, as they seem to be called here, for at least a fair amount of time. Yeah. What are you looking forward to with the coming batch 6?
So I've met some of the teams, and everybody brings really interesting dynamics to the table. We have teams from Belarus, we have teams from Ukraine. We also have some new teams. We have a team that's Brazilian, and I believe one of the founders is from Panama. So we have a new diverse angle here, because usually we have Eastern European teams. So I think that the most exciting aspect is the talent each brings to the table, and the amount of energy everybody is bringing. I was talking to some of the founders today, and they all have some really interesting products and platforms that they're selling. So they're here to really develop themselves and to learn sales in New York, to meet people, and that's where I come in. I want to help them communicate that and articulate that as clearly as possible. So it's fun. It's fun getting them to where they need to be, because they need to communicate their goals and they need to get something, and that's what I'd like to help them do.
Now, you have been working primarily with companies coming from outside of the United States. What needs do they have in terms of overcoming language barriers, both vocabulary as well as pronunciation? What do you see that you have to work on with them?
I think that it's a huge challenge when you think about people who are coming here. It's hard enough to pitch. It's hard enough to go to investor meetings. But now you're adding a layer of doing it in a second language. Not everybody is fluent in that language, yet they still have to do it, and they have to be competent. And that's where I come in. So some of the teams I do have to actually work with, making sure there's clarity and making sure they articulate very clearly when they're doing what they need to do. Some of the teams, it just is polish, depending on how seasoned they are. But the culture of the team also comes into play. So, culturally, how people communicate really plays a big part in how they're going to sit down with someone or how they're going to pitch. Whether they're used to using volume, whether they're used to using certain styles of intonation, certain styles of body language, facial expression. And it varies from culture to culture. And some people don't realize, how different it can be from culture to culture. Where, when you're used to certain, like if you're used to more Western European cultures, there's some more similarities. But as you go across the world, things change. And I think that those are some of the challenges that some of the founders need to overcome, is not only the clarity piece, because some of them do have to do that, but pulling it together, using certain types of facial expression, using a tone that will resonate with the audience that they're speaking with, so that they can send a message that's believable, so that they can put the passion that they have, they can communicate that, so they actually are living that, because that's much harder to do if you're coming from a place that you're not used to communicating that way, and it's not necessary to communicate that way. So I think those are some of the huge challenges that they overcome, and that's why I actually work with international founders, because I like working on those challenges.
Sounds great, and I guess we'll see a little bit of your work by the 23rd, because you'll have seen at least most of those companies. Is that right?
Yes. So I'm starting to work with the companies today, and we're starting to prepare them. And usually there's a big difference between kickoff and demo day, and they have a lot of time to practice. So hopefully we'll get to see a little change by the 23rd, which is just in a couple weeks. But the big change, I think, you'll really see as the batch moves on towards demo day, and then you'll get to see that progress.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and it should be great. Thanks for spending a little time with us.
Thank you very much, Marco.